This is the stereotypes.
There is a serious rise in tribal sentiment in Nigeria. Every week, I think from this year or from last year, since before after this 2023 election, every day, like especially on Twitter, you see every day somebody is trending Igbos, Yoruba, and all those. It's becoming a norm. Like currently, I think for throughout the Easter period, it's been
The Igbos were
the
trending.
Alex, the Alien Onyema,
Yeah.
the wearing Isiago, and all those kind of things. And I don't know what you think about it, Abuji. Is it like a very few people among the tribes always having this kind of opinion, or is it something that is actually existing, like a larger part of the population, maybe the Igbos or the other ones are actually against each other?
Well, I don't know. I don't know for them, but the reality of Nigeria and tribalism, the Obrotakubido.
Yeah, he has been there from the beginning.
It's been there
from the independent.
Well, it all boils down
Pre-independence,
to, yes, it all boils down to the way the country was geared to work
from the beginning.
Yes, this country was set on a trajectory of failure.
Yes, from the beginning.
From the beginning. And when you talk about this divide and rule syndrome that the British used in Nigeria, this is it also still playing out. But the biggest challenge about it, or the most shocking aspect of it, is that the Igbos, especially after the loss of the Civil War, have always borne a greater chunk of the Igbophobic utterances of so many other ethnic nationalities. Most especially the Yoruba ethnic group. I don't know whether they have a direct rivalry with the Igbo people, whom, in terms of geographical location or mapping, are supposed to be our close-door neighbors and then our partners. But most times, you just see a lot of them online
antagonizing the Igbos,
calling the Igbos names. And then I always say it's actually a shame, because the North that I know can only come out and do a lot of things politically. But this physical abuse is more common among the Yoruba ethnic group.
But the Yorubas will also say the Igbos are the one abusing them first. Because that's always what they say. Like,
the truth about it is that nobody has monopoly over what has happened over time.
Okay.
But when things happen where someone from a particular ethnic group was supposed to be celebrating or was supposed to have been celebrated, and then you are just looking for a way to discredit the hard work of a man like Allen Oyema. Now, you're talking about the attire that the cabin crew wore. I don't know that there is if there is any national carrier across the world whose cabin crew does not have dress in a way that represents their natural cultural value
of the company,
of the country from where the airline comes from. Now you look at the Ethiopian airline, you look at Cameco, even though Cameco chose to wear the Cameroonian flag. Now you look at the Nigerian scenario during just the Nations Cup that took place in Côte d'Ivoire. You see that the Super Eagles, when they came back, they wore the green, white, and green in an Hausa design. Do you understand? So if the Igbos were so much against
interested in those kind of things,
these are frivolities. So now, nobody has time for that.
For those kind of things, we understand that maybe this is what they chose for this.
Yes, don't even be shocked that Hausa design was even made by an Igbo man.
Yes,
probably. Do you understand me? Or that the design was somehow has something to do. So, but I don't understand. The Ishiago is the pride of the Igbo people.
Igbos, yes.
And now the CEO of that company is an Igbo man. So if in his inaugural flight to the UK, he chooses to make a bold statement that this is it. This is Nigeria. And I am the owner of this company, and I'm propagating my ethnic nationality. It's not something to be envious about.
No.
It's something you should clap for.
Yeah.
And now, okay, they will now die, or some of those who are fighting the whole thing will faint if not, they now hear that when you enter that book that flight, that they will give you isieu, nkwobi, agwara, obana achicha. Then that is even when they will commit murder. Now they will look for another topic to talk about.
No, anyway, they still have other expensive airlines to fly.
Now, if nobody is propelling you to fly airpiece, but the moment you see, once it makes economic sense, even those who comes online to make derogatory statements against the Igbo people and the exploit of Allen Oyema in the aviation sector, they will still fly that plane.
Yeah, but
right?
let's get everything into context now. It's very, very clear that we must make this statement that not all Yorubas are into this. And my question is, are these a few or a larger portion? Because people just feel because of the last election, there is a serious divide in Nigeria. The election actually divided the young guys, the APC supporters and the LP guys who are online, and it's like some people are not just getting, like a lot of Yorubas feel like we don't want to support them. We should have supported them.
No, see, I think the Igbophobic attitude, I think is it's worthy to, in fact, is a course of study for any man who wants to understand how the Yoruba, an average Yoruba person, views an Igbo man. There is no form of stereotype that they don't bring forth when referring to Igbo people, and vice versa.
But it's not general to every.
It cannot. There is no how.
It can be general to everybody. There are people who
Listen, I will paint a scenario for you, Chukuma. Okay. A man who was born in Ekiti State.
Okay.
He has never been outside of Ekiti State. He has never worked. He has never schooled, or even visited any part of the southeast, is most likely to buy into the stereotypes of the elderly ones who also never traveled or even visited any part of the east. It is there. Now, the group of Yoruba people who will have a divergent opinion about the Igbo people are one, the schooled ones who have traveled, who have encountered the Igbo people in so many spheres of their life, or so many areas of their life, and now understands who the Igbo people are. You see that those stereotyping or Igbophobic attitudes amongst them will dwindle, even though it exists. Yeah. Because when you still have a little bit of squabble with them, you see it coming out to the fore.
Now, there are things we must do as Igbo people. One is that we must, like what we're doing now, continue to explain our positions to the best of our ability. Secondly, is that we should expect such things. Because in a situation where, especially in Lagos, because I did part of my education in Lagos, and there's something that confused a lot of the early ones, like what you're saying. These guys get into Lagos, and they know them when they got into Lagos, and before you know it, they're living in mansions. They are the only streets. And we must understand those kind of things, how the average human being try to receive those kind of things. It's mostly like jealousy.
I know. Yes, I know. Yes, I understand that jealousy is a very vital part of the Igbophobic nature of the Yorubas, especially against the Igbo people. But it shouldn't stop at being jealous. If you want to understand why an Igbo man leaves his village, I call it village because an average Yoruba man thinks that in the southeast is only bushes that you see everywhere. They don't know that the southeast is as more developed, apart from Lagos, more than so many other parts of their states.
Yes.
They don't understand that. If you want to really understand why the Igbo man leaves his own town here, and then comes to Lagos with Nylon and goes back with Range Rovers, then you should go and watch the film Afamefuna, the Nwa Boy story.
Yeah.
I looked at that movie and I said, bam. It was a Yoruba man who directed one Kayode, was the one who directed that movie. And then I said, yes, this have actually described the fighting spirit and the indomitable spirit of an Igbo man. Even with your stereotyping and Igbophobic nature, it doesn't stop him. He doesn't even look at you. He laughs at you. You insult him, he laughs, and then he forward ever and backward never. That's the attitude.
We also, the Igbos, must understand that when these things come, they are part of these success stories.
Yes, of course.
You understand? When you are doing very well, you are tend to be criticized more, you are tend to be scrutinized more. And then when these things come, we must develop that ability to see it as a compliment.
No, you must have a shock absorber.
Yes.
Because just like the Allen Oyema's case, a lot of them are shocked that they are seeing an Ishiago. It has never happened before.
Why must he be this Igbo
and
guy?
Then, no, it's not. And then another reaction is, why must he be from an Igbo guy? Now, I tell you, if Allen Oyema had opted to introduce that what was that, Ashoke as the first attire, all this noise will not surface.
Yes.
Or if he had chosen to use an Hausa attire, they will call him a nationalist. This man has the interest of the general. But because he used his own native attire, and then you're crying wolf. And now I wonder, the same people who are crying are making nonsensical noise about just the Ishiago. They are not even praising the exploit. Neither are they also applauding for Allen Oyema. Because if you look at the organogram of airpeace, you see a vast majority of them are Yoruba people.
Yoruba people.
An Igbo man is somebody who doesn't care about where you are from. As far as you have competence. Okay, you look at, you watch this video, and then you see what Dr. Charles Akpoki said about it. The Igbo man doesn't care if you are from anywhere, and then you're coming in to compete with him. He's not afraid of competition. Now, if you feel that you don't like what Allen Oyema is doing, float your own national career.
And then leave all these tribal divides every time, because this is becoming very serious in Nigeria. Every now and then you see a lot of tweets on social media. People are fighting about tribalism and all those things. And I think we have to do something to tone it down, because I don't see it stopping anytime soon. Since this 2023 election, it has been something else. But even before then, what happened in Lagos and all those kind of things. And actually, like one guy said, if this guy's business was actually a Lagos-based business the way it should be, maybe one day the business will be demolished.
Now, let me just say this one final stuff. For us to succeed as a country, we do not need all these ethnic bashing or ethnic sentiment. We must actually downplay them most of the time. You get the point? And now, the only thing that can unify us is through a superordinate goal. Hunger is one of it. We must fight against hunger. Okay? We must fight to put ourselves on the map of the world as a country. Not sitting behind, and then you sit behind your rickety laptop or your useless phone, and then you're tweeting sentiments.
And people should
and then bringing down other people's business. And then spoiling other people's mind. And then the people in the outside world who are maybe within Nigeria, and they are reading what you're saying and they are listening to you, they tend to have they buy into those bias.